Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever wondered why some defenders are super aggressive while others stay calm and composed, the answer is simple. Not all defenders are the same. In eFootball 2025, each defender has a unique style that can make or break your defense. Are you using the right player for your tactics? Today, I'll break down the different defender styles, when to use them, and how to maximize their strengths. You'll understand what each playstyle does, how Konami reflects them on the pitch, and most importantly, which one suits your tactics best. So let's jump right in. Destroyer, the aggressive warrior. First up, we have the Destroyer, the aggressive warrior of your defense. If you need a no-nonsense, hard-tackling enforcer who can break up attacks before they start, this is the perfect defender for you. A Destroyer is a defender who pressures the opponent constantly, tackles hard, and aggressively wins back possession. This type of player is always on the move, never letting attackers breathe. They don't wait for the opponent to come to them. Instead, they step up and challenge attackers head-on. Now, let's talk about the best positions for a Destroyer and how to use this playstyle effectively. Where should you use a Destroyer? If you're looking to stop strikers before they even reach dangerous areas, the best position is center back, CB. A Destroyer in this role will aggressively step up, press high, and win the ball before the opponent even gets a chance to shoot. Another great position is defensive midfielder, DMF. If you want a player who disrupts attacks in midfield, wins tackles, and keeps the pressure high, a Destroyer at DMF is perfect. They will break up plays before they even reach your defensive line. Lastly, you can also use a Destroyer as a central midfielder, CMF. This is more of a pressing role, where they're constantly harassing opponents, forcing mistakes, and keeping your midfield compact. It's not as common, but it can work really well in high-pressing tactics. Now, let's talk about when and how to use a Destroyer effectively. If you love to press high and force errors, this playstyle is perfect. A Destroyer will step up and challenge attackers aggressively, making sure your team is always winning back possession quickly. It's especially useful against teams that like to hold possession. If your opponent loves to pass around and build up slowly, having a Destroyer will break their rhythm and force turnovers. But here's the key: because a Destroyer tends to push forward and press aggressively, you need defensive balance. A great way to do this is by pairing them with a build-up defender. The build-up stays back to cover any gaps, while the build-up defender helps you transition smoothly from defense to attack. So, if you're playing a high-pressing defensive system, the Destroyer is an absolute beast. But just make sure to have the right balance, or you'll leave big gaps at the back. Ruben Dias, the perfect example of a Destroyer. He constantly pressures attackers, tackles aggressively, and never backs down from a duel. If you want a defender who fights for every ball, he's your guy. But be careful. Destroyers can be overly aggressive, which means they might commit fouls or leave gaps behind if they step up too soon. Make sure you position them correctly and use them wisely. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. Build-Up, the calm playmaker. Next, we have the build-up defender, the complete opposite of a Destroyer. If you want a composed, intelligent defender who controls the tempo and starts attacks from the back, this is the style for you. A build-up defender is all about calmness under pressure. Instead of charging forward, they stay deep, maintain possession, and distribute the ball effectively. They focus on playing out from the back rather than aggressively winning the ball. Now, let's talk about the best position for a build-up defender and why it works so well. The ideal role for a build-up defender is center back, CB. This is where they truly shine because their main job is to help transition from defense to attack smoothly. Instead of just clearing the ball or making risky tackles, a build-up CB stays composed, receives the ball under pressure, and looks for smart passing options to start an attack. If you play possession-based football or like to build from the back, this playstyle is perfect. A build-up defender will stay deep, offer passing lanes to teammates, and ensure your defense remains structured instead of getting pulled out of position. This type of player works really well with a destroyer or a sweeper, balancing aggression with control. While the destroyer presses high, the build-up defender stays calm, ready to distribute the ball forward and keep your shape intact. So, if you want a defender who does more than just defend, a build-up CB is the way to go. They bring stability, vision, and composure, key traits for modern football. Now, look at Saliba in this clip. Watch how he drops back and signals for the ball instead of rushing forward. He positions himself perfectly to build up play and maintain structure. Defensively, he is more passive compared to a destroyer. While other defenders step up to challenge opponents directly, Saliba turns backward to cover space, ensuring the defensive shape remains intact. Now, let's talk about the downsides of using a build-up defender and how to maximize their effectiveness. While this playstyle is great for controlling possession, there are a few weaknesses you need to be aware of. First, a build-up defender is not aggressive enough. Unlike a destroyer, they won't step up to press high or win the ball back early. They prefer to hold their position and wait for the right moment to intercept or pass. Second, they can struggle against high-pressing teams. If your opponent applies a lot of pressure, a build-up defender needs good passing ability to escape tight situations. If they don't have that, they could easily lose the ball in dangerous areas. So, how do you get the best out of a build-up defender? Here's a pro tip. Pair them with a destroyer or a defensive fullback. The destroyer will handle the aggressive pressing and ball winning, allowing your build-up defender to focus on distributing the ball. A defensive fullback will add extra security, keeping the defensive line stable while your CB focuses on playmaking. By combining these playstyles, you'll have a well-structured backline that can both absorb pressure and transition into attack effectively. So, if you want a build-up defender to truly shine, make sure you have the right defensive setup around them. A build-up defender is perfect for possession-based tactics. But be careful. If you rely too much on their passing ability without proper cover, your defense can become vulnerable. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. It's especially useful against teams that like to hold possession. If your opponent loves to pass around and build up slowly, having a destroyer will break their rhythm and force turnovers. But here's the key. Because a destroyer tends to push forward and press aggressively, you need defensive balance. A great way to do this is by pairing them with a build-up defender. The build-up stays back to cover any gaps, while the build-up defender helps you transition smoothly from defense to attack. So, if you're playing a high-pressing defensive system, the destroyer is an absolute beast. But just make sure to have the right balance, or you'll leave big gaps at the back. Ruben Dias, the perfect example of a destroyer. He constantly pressures attackers, tackles aggressively, and never backs down from a duel. If you want a defender who fights for every ball, he's your guy. But be careful. Destroyers can be overly aggressive, which means they might commit fouls or leave gaps behind if they step up too soon. Make sure you position them correctly and use them wisely. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. Extra frontman, the attacking center back. Next up, let's talk about the extra frontman, one of the most attack-minded defender playstyles in eFootball 2025. The best position for an extra frontman is center back, CB. But unlike traditional center backs, this guy loves to push forward. If you're using a dynamic system where defenders contribute to attacks, this playstyle can be a real game changer. Now check this out. Watch how Calafiori runs into midfield, joining the attack like an extra midfielder. Insert gameplay clip of Ramos moving up the field. See that? In full attacking mode, he bombs forward aggressively, almost playing as a central midfielder. Even when you switch back to balanced mode, he still stays high up the pitch instead of immediately dropping back into defense. Of course, this aggressive attacking playstyle comes with a risk. It leaves huge gaps at the back. If you love attacking football, this style can be great, but it's extremely dangerous against teams that play on the counter. You need defensive cover. Because an extra frontman is always pushing forward, you need a strong defensive partner to make sure your backline doesn't get completely exposed. Only use one extra frontman in your squad. Pair him with a solid defensive CB to maintain balance and prevent counterattacks from tearing your defense apart. If you love an aggressive attacking style of play, the extra frontman can be a powerful weapon, but make sure you've got the right setup to cover his forward runs. The extra frontman is a fantastic option if you want a dynamic defender who contributes to attack and build-up play. But be careful. If you don't have the right defensive structure, you might leave too much space behind. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. Fullback finisher. The goal-scoring fullback. Alright, let's talk about a rare but super exciting defender style, the fullback finisher. Now, if you've ever wanted a fullback who plays more like a forward, this is the role for you. Unlike traditional fullbacks who hug the touchline and swing in crosses, a fullback finisher doesn't just stay wide. Instead, they cut inside, find open spaces, and even get into goal-scoring positions. Honestly, they play more like attacking midfielders than defenders. So, if you love attacking football, this could be a game changer for you. There are two main spots where this playstyle works best. Left back, LB. Perfect if you want a player to attack from the left flank and make those inside runs. Right back, RB. Best for cutting inside from the right wing, almost like an inverted winger. Of course, this aggressive playstyle comes with risks. It leaves your wings exposed. Since the fullback finisher moves inside, there's a big gap on the flanks, which opponents can easily exploit. Can be risky against counterattacks. If your team loses possession while your fullback is high up the pitch, you could be in serious trouble. If you're using a fullback finisher, make sure you have a strong defensive midfielder, DMF, to cover the space they leave behind. This will help you stay defensively balanced while still letting your fullback attack freely. So, if you love aggressive, attack-heavy football, this playstyle is for you. But make sure you adjust your team structure to handle the defensive risks. A fullback finisher is perfect for aggressive, attack-minded formations. But be cautious. If your team loses the ball, your defense could be exposed. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. Defensive fullback. The safe and secure defender. The complete opposite of an attacking fullback, the defensive fullback. If you're looking for stability and security at the back, this is exactly the type of player you need. A defensive fullback has one job: defend. Unlike attacking fullbacks who bomb forward and get involved in attacks, a defensive fullback stays put, holds the line, and ensures your defensive structure remains intact at all times. No unnecessary overlaps, no risky runs, just solid, disciplined defending. You can use a defensive fullback in two key positions. Left back, LB. Perfect for keeping the left flank secure and stopping wide attackers. Right back, RB. Best for protecting the right side and shutting down opposition wingers. See how, unlike an attacking fullback, he doesn't overlap or push forward. Instead, he holds his position, stays behind, and focuses purely on defense. If you prefer a defensive setup where you don't want to take risks, This is the perfect fullback style for you. Does not contribute to attack. You won't get overlapping runs or crosses from this type of fullback. Limited offensive play. Best suited for teams that prioritize defensive security over attacking options. Use defensive fullbacks when you want to play safe and minimize risks. If you're facing strong counterattacking teams, a defensive fullback can provide extra security and prevent dangerous breakaways. A defensive fullback is perfect for defensive-minded teams and players who don't want to take unnecessary risks. If you prefer a solid, structured backline, this is the ideal choice. Now, let's move on to the next defender style. Attacking fullback. The overlapping winger. Alright, now let's talk about the attacking fullback, a defender who constantly pushes forward and plays like a winger. If you love attacking football, this is the fullback style for you. Unlike traditional defenders who stay deep, an attacking fullback is always looking to get involved in the attack. Instead of holding their position, they push forward, overlap, and even act as an extra winger when needed. This type of fullback is key for teams that rely on width and aggressive forward play, constantly providing attacking support and stretching the opponent's defense. If you want to maximize an attacking fullback's impact, here's where they work best. Left back, LB. Ideal for making attacking runs down the left flank and linking up with wingers. Right back, RB. Perfect for delivering crosses and providing width on the right side. Now, check this out. Watch Philipp Lahm in this clip. See how he keeps raising his hand, demanding the pass. He constantly overlaps, stays high up the pitch, and offers an attacking option at all times. This is exactly what an attacking fullback is designed to do. Keep the pressure on the opponent and support the attack. But of course, this attacking mindset comes with risks. Takes time to recover defensively. Since attacking fullbacks push high up the field, they may be out of position when defending. Can leave space open for counterattacks. If your opponent plays quick transitions, they can exploit the gaps left behind. To keep your defense balanced, try to pair an attacking fullback with a defensive fullback on the opposite side. That way, you still get attacking width while keeping one fullback deeper to protect against counters. An attacking fullback is perfect for teams that dominate possession and push forward aggressively. But be cautious. If your opponent loves counterattacks, your team could be vulnerable. Now that we've covered the key defender styles, let's summarize and go over the best way to use them in your tactics. Destroyer, aggressive, presses high, wins duels. Best for high-pressure tactics. Build-up defender, stays deep, distributes the ball, starts attacks. Great for possession play. Extra frontman, pushes forward, joins the attack. Ideal for attacking formations. Fullback finisher, cuts inside, takes shots. Best for teams that rely on offensive wing play. Defensive fullback, stays back, ensures defensive stability. Perfect for counter-attacking teams. Attacking fullback, overlaps, supports attacks. Great for teams that use width and offensive fullbacks. Finally, I will give you some advices for using defenders effectively. Balance your backline. Always pair attacking defenders with defensive ones to avoid being exposed. Consider your playstyle. If you like possession football, use build-up defenders. If you love pressing, a destroyer is essential. Be aware of weaknesses. Extra front men leave gaps. Fullback finishers open the wings. Make sure to adjust your tactics accordingly. Adapt to your opponent. If facing a counter-attacking team, don't use too many aggressive defenders. Use team instructions wisely. Adjust defensive depth and pressing intensity based on the defender styles you are using. And that wraps up our guide on defender styles in eFootball 2025. Whether you prefer an aggressive destroyer, an overlapping attacking fullback, or a solid defensive fullback, Choosing the right defender is key to building a winning team. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, drop a comment on which defender style you prefer, and don't forget to subscribe to eFootball for more expert eFootball tips and strategies. Stay sharp, keep improving, and I'll see you on the pitch in the next video.